It's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. Today, you all are in for a very, very special treat. Today, we are going to talk about business, but not the traditional business, not the traditional type of business that you all are used to. We are going to talk about something very unique. We are going to talk about franchising. And this is going to be a power-packed special edition show. You all won't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Here we go. Hey everybody, it's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today I have on the show Mr. Josh Emison. This man is incredible. He is a former Marine Corps Infantry Officer. He also currently owns and operates Tracer Consulting. It is a full-service franchise and career transition consultancy founded by two brothers, Josh and Ryan Emison. They recruit well-qualified candidates for the franchise industry, helping them become full-time, semi-absentee or fully-absentee franchisees. After graduating from the U.S. Naval Academy, thank you for your service, sir. Josh spent time as a platoon commander and company executive officer for 1st Battalion, 8th Marine Regiment. He then served as a liaison officer in the U.S. Embassy in Amman, Jordan. Mr. Josh has a passion for business, helping others achieve their goals, reading, and water sports. Help me welcome to the show, Mr. Josh Emison.
Hey, Marcus, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal intro. I appreciate that.
It's all you, brother. All you. This is your bio. This is huge. You are an incredible man. Thank you for your service. Thank you for serving our country. You are a hero, sir.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Diving right in. Mr. Josh, tell us, what's a successful habit that you do day in and day out? Something that it could be yoga, it could be meditation, it could be a word. What is it that you do every single day that really sets the tone for the rest of your day?
Yeah, I always try to read something in the morning, right? Whether it's a book, whether it could be on, sometimes it's on business, sometimes it's about sales, sometimes it's about, economics, and sometimes it's like classics, right? Fiction or something. But I find reading someone who's more informed and can expand my mind in the morning kind of gets the brain juices going, right? Like a workout in the morning, and sets the day for productive work.
Great point. Getting the brain juices flowing. That's important, right? No coffee, just reading something. I like that. I need to do more reading. I currently invested in Audible, so now I'm reading audiobooks. And I'm listening on the go because I'm always on the go. So thank you for saying that. That's what we need. We need to do better than that. Sir, you are an intelligent man. You have an incredible level of thinking. You have the detail. You served our country. You have the organization. You have the critical thinking skills. You could do anything, literally anything you want in the world. Who is someone who got you into the industry of being a franchise consultant? Who is someone you admire? They could be living or deceased.
Yeah. So the person they didn't really get me into franchising. However, when I started this, I gotta say I thought it was cool, and I was working hard, but it was my first time in business. And there was another graduate from the Naval Academy. He runs a group just for Service Academy graduates that are into business, and he really helped me a lot. He helped me focus on who to aim for the franchising. He helped me kind of introducing me to people who were able to help me with sales processes. He introduced me to different investor groups. His name's Scott. It's Scott Mackus. He's a great guy. He's a good guy, and you wouldn't know how successful he is. You just met him on the street. He just seems like a regular guy, and he's hugely knowledgeable, and he's run multiple businesses, and he's really, really helped me get to where I am. So it'd have to be a big shout out to Scott.
Huge shout out to Scott. Round of applause for Scott. Scott's the man. The inspiration, the man, the myth, the legend. Absolutely. So, sir, what is it about franchising? What is it about franchising? I think it's a very unique industry because most people are like, I want to start my own company. I want to start my own business. Why is franchising a superior, or what makes franchising different from starting your own business from scratch?
Yeah. So what's cool about franchising, and a lot of people think that the number one part of franchising is that you get a brand name. And that's actually, I consider that the third most important thing in franchising. And someone who has started a business from scratch, and after, getting this business going, I have started another business from scratch, and it's very, very difficult to write a business plan. And when you do write a business plan, a lot of times you're just kind of hoping that it's the right thing, right? You don't know for sure. But with a franchise, especially that have hundreds of units open, you know that the business plan that they give you is a workable business plan, right? And most businesses don't franchise when they know it's going to work. They franchise when they know it's not going to fail. And so being handed a business plan that you know will work within your territory, I think is the biggest benefit of starting a franchise versus starting something from scratch, right? And then the second most important thing is the support, because being a business owner is very lonely, right? Nobody's there to help you. Nobody cares if you fail. But when you're in a franchise, you now have the franchisor, which is that corporate office. That's the one who, a lot of times they'll assign you a business coach and a marketing coach, and they're going to make sure you're doing your employees are being taken care of, right? So they'll help you set up their different employment payment plans, benefit plans, all that stuff. And then you have all the other franchisees in your system. And because you have your own territory, you're not competing against the other franchisees, right? Because it's different people that you're working with. So you work together to make things better. And so they've not only given you a fantastic business plan, but now you have this massive network of support that you wouldn't have had if you went out and did this on your own, right? And then the third most important thing is the name. And I say that because a great business plan, whether someone knows the name or not, is going to work. But there was a Pizza Hut down the street. I don't go to that Pizza Hut because it's run terribly. I'll go to the next one over, right? So even though it's got the name Pizza Hut, I know because the person who runs that doesn't do a good job, I don't go to that one. So that's why I think the name brand is actually the third most important thing in a franchise.
I love how you broke that down. So it's not a competition. So I'm not in competition with other franchise owners. I'm not in competition with any of the partners. This is a team effort that that we are going to come alongside. So like you said, I own my own territory. And the franchise helps me pick, right? In some cases, they even help you find that location, or if it's already established, take over a location, right?
Yeah, so every single time they're going to make sure that you find a location, because they want to make sure that you succeed, right? Because a franchisor, right, again, that corporate office, they only succeed when the franchisees, the local people, succeed. So they're going to go through and they'll do demographic studies for you. They're going to do, if it's something with a like a McDonald's, right, where foot traffic matters a lot, they're going to do foot traffic pattern studies. They're going to do all that stuff to make sure that wherever you place the business, it's in the most likely place to succeed.
So they're not going to let you fail. They can't let you fail.
It looks really bad. Yeah. It looks really bad when a franchise fails. So they do everything within their power to make sure that you don't fail. But again, it's not just like all right, open the store and run it for me. You still have to run it, right? And sometimes people will think that a franchise runs itself, and that's not true. Nothing runs itself, right? Otherwise, everybody would do it. You still have to go out there and you still have to run it properly. But as long as you're working hard and you're following the system works.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Can you break down something that you said or something we discussed earlier? So you can be a full-time franchise owner, a semi-absentee franchise owner, or a fully absentee. What are the difference between the three?
Yeah, so the majority of people who start franchises are full-time, right? They transition from their jobs or whatever they were doing before to run this business. And they're A lot of times, right, and most of these franchisees, they don't want people working in the business. So let's say it's a painting franchise. They don't want you to be painting, but they want you to be out there full-time networking, making sure your employees are trained properly, hiring them, going in and inspecting the jobs that they did, maintaining the culture, overseeing the marketing, overseeing the sales. There's a lot that a business owner does that isn't actually doing the thing that the business does, right? And so that's a full-time one. Part-time are ones where it's very easy to bring a manager in from the beginning, right? Think all the haircut salons, right? So I represent people like Great Clips, Supercuts, all those guys, Fantastic Sam's. It's very easy to hire a manager, and then you're just overseeing that manager. So that takes 15 to 20 hours a week, right? So that's kind of your part-time. And it's not just haircut. There's a bunch of other ones, but that's what everybody thinks of, right? Or that I know everybody knows. And then the last one, the fully absentee, that's where you're hiring really there's two ways to be fully absentee, right? The first one is there's a few franchises where the corporate location will actually run it for you for a fee, right? So they've opened their own and you know that they know how to do it. And so you're just like, yeah, sure, I'll invest in you and you run it for me and and I'll pay you a percentage of the revenue to do that for me, right? And it's totally passive. And the second way that you can do this, and I've had people do both of these before, right? The other way that people do this is they know someone who's a great operator, right? So one actually, they signed the paperwork last week, is a gym. And it was a woman who owns 5 or 6 dance studio franchises, and she wanted a dance or a gym franchise. So one of the guys who'd been running her franchise for one of her studios for 3 years or 4 years, she trusts him 100%. So she funded the franchise and he's going to run it for her. So she's probably never going to go into the gym, right? Because she trusts this person 100%. Right. So if you're someone who's looking for an investment and you know a really great operator, that's another way where you could be totally passive, but it's only because you know somebody who's going to be totally active in it.
That's the catch. I love that. We have one quick commercial break, y'all. Don't go anywhere. We are going to bring Mr. Josh back. Stay with us, stay tuned, and stay engaged. We'll be right back. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. We are back to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. We have the incredible Mr. Josh Emison, and this man just spilled the franchise tea, y'all. This man is incredible. He's powerful, and he just shared some things to consider about the different franchises. Can you name off some of the franchise partnerships that you have, right? You talked about Supercuts. You talked about Sports Clips, which I used to go to. Very great franchise, very powerful franchise. But can you name some of the partners that you partner with in your franchise?
Yeah, so I represent about 500 different franchises. And so what that means is there are all these franchises that are in an inventory. They're looking to bring in new franchise owners, okay? So the real big name franchises, they don't need people like me, right? So like I don't represent McDonald's or Burger King and things like that. However, there are some, right? Like Supercuts is a really big name. Fantastic Sam's is a big name. So there are some big ones, right? College Hunks Hauling Junk. It's a $100 million moving and junk hauling franchise. A lot of people have never even heard of it. There's things like Petopia. It's got hundreds and hundreds of pet daycares. There's things like Action Coach. There's over 1,000 business coaches worldwide. A lot of people never even heard of that. There's gyms, right? I think Anytime Fitness, that's pretty popular. People have heard of that one. But there are other smaller ones that have hundreds of locations, like 30-Minute Hit or the Max Challenge. Great franchises. Senior care with hundreds of franchises, and people don't know senior care unless they have someone who needs senior care. Really, I mean, there's tons. There's a dumpster franchise that has hundreds of locations, but nobody knows the names of them. But who would know that the dumpster business is a great business to be in, right? So each business is a little bit different, and that's why my job is to get to know people so that I can say, hey, these 5 or 6 are a really good fit for you. And then let me introduce you to them, and you can decide which is the absolute best fit. That's actually what my role is. It's because they see me as a recruiter, so I'm totally free for the people that I work with, and they don't charge them more for the franchise. I'm just a recruiter that works for these guys, and I go out and find people their best match. And also I find the franchise is the best match of a person that could run their franchise, right?
Right. That makes sense. And that's huge, and that's significant, right? Because I may be one, and that's why you have to take the time to get to know the person. It's not just send me this electronic form and I'll email you back 12 franchises that fit this form. Like, you have to get to know the person. The person may want to be fully absentee. So that's important, and that's significant to know if they want to be active in this business. Are they retirees? Are they a veteran like yourself that's just looking, they got some cash, they're sitting on some money, or they want to do something other than work for someone else in their retirement years? So that's significant. And that makes sense. What should someone have? What ducks in a row should someone have before setting an appointment with you?
Yeah, so people should know what their goals are in terms of what do they want their life to look like 1, 3, and 5 years from now, right? And do they want to get something that they can up and running in a couple of years, and then they just kind of let it set it, right? And make some, how much money they want to make? Or do they want something where they can become like a kingmaker, and it's just like franchise, and it's just expansion after expansion after expansion? Because I need to check territories, right? Because if there's only one small territory and everything else is taken around you, you're only ever going to have one territory, right? So those are things that I check for. You need to know how much do you want to invest, right? So franchises, if you're the owner operator and you're working from home and it's more like a sales role, you could be as low as less than $50,000 all in, right? And there's some, if you wanted, have you seen like the kids adventure parks where it's like a trampoline park in a corner, a Ninja Warrior
Yes.
park? Those are over $1 million, right? And I represent guys like that too. So I need to know how much do you want to invest. And you can use, if you have equity in homes, if you have whole life insurance, if you have a retirement account, you can actually buy stocks in your own company with your retirement account without triggering any tax penalties. And then your company, as the CEO of your company, you can use that money as you see fit to build the company. And then you can use the profits to pay off your shareholders, who happens to be your retirement account, right? A lot of people don't, that's 50% of franchises start that way. People that have never even heard of it. You can take loans against your stock market holdings. So there's tons of different ways that you can do this. That lady I was talking about earlier, she just has $300,000 in capital because she owns 5 dance studios. So she's just paying in cash, right? So I kind of need to know what you want to invest, and are you comfortable with loans? Are you comfortable with home equity lines of credit, that kind of stuff? I need to know what gets you passionate. What are you interested about, right? There's over 30 or 40 industries that I work with. And each industry has sub-industries, right? So are you into fitness? Are you into pets, senior care? Are you business consulting, right?
Dumpsters,
yeah. Crime scene cleanup, right? Tattoos, all this stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's all sorts of stuff out there. And so what else? So I ask a ton of questions. What's your family look like, right? Do you want your kids to be able to work in this? Do you want to own it for indefinitely, or is this something that you want to build quickly and then sell? All these are questions that I'm going to ask, and that during the interview, me or one of my associates that works for me, we'll ask during the interview. And you have a pretty big gathering outside the country, right? That follows the podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So countries that the United States has an EB-5 visa treaty with, which is over 100 countries. If they start a business here in the United States and they spend, I think it's like $150,000 or $200,000, and it hires 3 local employees, they can get a visa for them and their whole family to live in America. And it's one of the fastest visas out there. Yeah.
What?
So, yeah, a lot of people know about the E5, or I can't remember, this other visa where you have to spend like $900,000 or something crazy. Not this one. This one you just need, and franchises are like the best way to do it. You buy a franchise, you hire a couple people, it's already set. You don't need to, you don't need to come up with this business plan in an area that you don't know because you're not from America. No, just buy a franchise. They'll set you up where you want to live and you get your visa. It's super quick. I know lawyers that only do this that can help. So yeah, if you got anybody in an EB-5 country that wants to come to the United States and wants to own a business, franchising is the perfect way to do that.
Do y'all see the level of knowledge this man brings to the table? Do y'all see this? This is big level thinking. And so this is what sets franchising apart from starting your own business from scratch. It's a not a one and done. I don't want to say a one and done. That's a wrong answer, but it's an established business with a proven track record, with a proven systems and a process that are already in place. So, Mr. Josh, I'm going to ask for your opinion on this. Who is the best franchise? Right, money wise or goals wise, who, in your public opinion, who is the best franchise to own?
Yeah, so there's actually a franchise disclosure document that every franchise has to file with the Federal Trade Commission, right? And as a professional in the industry, I can only say financially what's in that document, and that document is provided to anybody who is interested in that franchise, right? So you will get that in the learning process. So I can't say, oh, this person's going to make this much money or that much money or whatever, right? But overall, franchises right now that I think do a really great job in terms of support, in terms of values, in terms of people, are happy with the franchise, right? And happiness comes from money and from time and from growth and all that stuff, right? Some of the ones that I really like. And I'm not going to name them. I'll tell you what they're in because I want people to come to me so I can tell them about it, right? Because that's how, right? Josh has got to make money too.
Absolutely.
There's a junk hauling and moving one that I absolutely love that, people wouldn't believe average earnings from there. And their core values, one of their top core value is leadership. And they're one of the only franchises I've heard of where like the guys who start off day one moving boxes have become franchise owners. Right? They've worked them. They pay them well. They teach them how to save, and then they'll get them their own franchise. And it's unbelievable that level of family atmosphere and dedication within those franchises. I really like that one. There's a gym one run by just this really amazing guy. It's focused on we call them premier, but it's people over 45, over 50 years old, and it's really smart and really data-driven athletics, right? To help people age very, very well. And, they do well. And then there's some, I noticed, right? Your first word in yours is God, right? There's a couple of really great faith-based franchises where all their values and everything comes from Christian values, right? So maybe some of your listeners would be interested in those. And there's actually a couple of them because, if you're a good person, typically people want to do business with you. So those kind of businesses do well. So yeah, there's a lot of really great franchises.
Powerful. This is nuggets. This is goals, y'all. This is powerful, and this is really unique because, again, you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to build from the ground up and figure out everything on your own. One of the things last year was a dumpster fire. 2020 was a dumpster fire. Let's call it what it is, right? And it was hard. But can you imagine going through COVID-19 and a pandemic and a recession with the support, with the infrastructure, with the team that you can call and say, hey, I don't know what to do. It's COVID-19 and this is what's happening in my area. And now the experts who've done this for years and years and years can come and say, yeah, you need to do this, or you need to modify this, or you need to change this. You can't do that when you start from scratch, because you might be the only one in your area that's doing what you're doing, or the competition, right? The competition is stiff. You can't go to your competitor and say, hey man, what are you doing? Like, that's not going to work. But the franchise organization, the umbrella wants you to win. They want you to succeed. So powerful stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up, because during the pandemic, these franchises right? Imagine when you're a franchise and you're struggling like this, all you can think of is what's happening around you. But then you have this corporate entity that's like, hey, we just developed some software so you can do this remotely, right? If you did that on your own, there was no way you were going to do that, right? They said, oh, hey, we're suspending royalties, because franchises make money by charging royalty fees. A number of franchises were like, hey, times are tough, you don't have to pay the fees, right? Because they know that they put their franchisees first. They're people who did things. They were applying for PPP loans for the franchises, so they were doing it in the most efficient manner, getting those loans. Franchises got more of those loans than most of these other businesses, because they had professionals that were hired by the franchisor to file for them, right? And if you look at who succeeded and who failed in the pandemic, and it's kind of sad to say, is a lot of these one-off businesses, especially in the restaurant industry, didn't make it, and a lot of the franchises did, and it's because of that support. And part of the process of working with me is you call current owners and you go, hey, how was the pandemic? Did these guys just leave you on your own, or did they help you every single day? And if you hear, hey, these guys helped me, if you're getting help during the worst of times, you're going to be good when it's not a pandemic, right?
Exactly. The man, the myth, the legend. This is huge. This is huge stuff. Huge stuff. We have one more quick, excuse me. We have one more quick commercial break. You guys don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Stay engaged. We'll be right back.
Are you a local business looking to offer your customers easy access to cash without having to travel miles? We're here to help. At Norman Legacy Investments, we provide free ATMs with free installation that provide a suitable investment for your business. Even better, we offer you some profit sharing and handle everything from start to finish. Just reach out to us today to schedule a free consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show, and we are back. We have Mr. Josh Emison, and he just broke down the difference and differentiations between starting a business and why franchising is, in my opinion, a superior product. And it's superior to start your own business. It's superior to start a franchise versus starting your own business from scratch. If you missed that, come back, scroll back, and go back and check that out. That is absolutely phenomenal. Mr. Josh, how can we connect with you? How can we grow with you? How can we learn more about starting a franchise, learning about a franchise, learning what franchise fits us, and getting started?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways you can connect with me. You can send an email, info@tracerfranchising.com. You can take my free course, right? If you just want to learn more about it, I got no problem with that. I sent you the link there. I think you're going to post it somewhere. There it is. So you can take that. You can go to my website, tracerfranchising.com, and you can book a call with me. I also have an ebook, right? Some people like courses. If you send an email to info@tracerfranchising, just say, hey, I want your ebook. I'd be happy to send it to you. So whether it's you set up a call or you send me an email, or you watch the course or read the ebook, from the next point, you tell me what you want to do next, right? There's no pressure. I'm here to help people that are interested, right? I'm not here to sell franchises, because great franchises don't sell them, right? It's an interview, and you have to prove that you deserve to be a franchise owner. So people that I'm chasing around usually aren't going to be good franchise owners, so I don't do that. But yeah, if someone is interested, please reach out to me. I'll give it to you straight, and we'll work together to find you the best match, because that's really the most important thing is the right match. And then we'll work through the research process, which is like 2 months, right? Like I said, getting the franchise disclosure document, watching webinars, calling current owners, right? You should call at least 5. I know people have called dozens of owners. And and then you'll go to the headquarters in person, right? And all that takes about 2 months, maybe a little bit more. And I'll also refer you to trustworthy funding partners, so that way you can get the funding in order, as well as franchising attorneys and CPAs that I use and I trust for small business. And then we can talk about other things, whether it's business, financial advisors, ways to save energy, ways to save money on other like point of sale systems and stuff like that. I have referrals for all that stuff. So I'm trying to be a one-stop shop for this.
Absolutely. I have a question. You brought it up. Do you help? So someone, say I have a business, it's established and it has the capability, it has the bolts, it has the good bones, so to speak, right? For franchising, do you know any connections or partnerships to help someone turn their business into a franchise?
I do. Yeah. I'd be happy to do the introductions for that as well. I know, and it depends the kind of franchise, right? Would be the person, like I know some ones who do that specifically for gyms, some ones that do that specifically for restaurants, some that do that for home services, right? So depending on the type of franchise or the type of business would be depending on who I would refer you to become a franchise.
Perfect. Had to ask, it came up just at the nick of time. So I'm glad I got that out. I'm glad you have that connection, because that's also something too. If you have an established business, sometimes franchising would be the way to go for expansion. A lot of people want to they're struggling to get that second location. Well, if you franchise, someone could actually someone else can actually buy it from you, the rights and copyrights and the trademark from you, and take that second location or that third location to the next level. So that's something people don't think about. So Thank you for thinking that. Mr. Josh, this has been a powerful show. I appreciate you, brother, taking the time out of your busy schedule to give back in this way. This is super, super powerful.
I appreciate you having me, Marcus. I think this was a great interview, and I love the energy. Right, you're always in such a positive mood. It always makes me feel good whenever I listen to you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm always going to be positive, sir. I need you to never give up. Right? Don't give up. Don't ever stop. Don't ever quit what you're doing, because we need what you're doing. The world is changed by you every single day.
All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you, my audience, for tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this message has served you. I hope this message was impactful, and I hope you take your business to the next level. Like I always end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and take care of business. This is Marcus Norman, your favorite gentleman, and Mr. Josh Emison signing off. Love you guys. Bye.